Hello and happy Mother's Day. This is such a special session for me because I am interviewing my mom. My mom is Sydna Mercereau, and there she is. You might be able to see a slight resemblance. I am the most blessed person in the world to have Sydna Mercereau as my mom. She's always happy, always up, wise, and has always just been the best guiding force in my life. If there's a problem, my mom is always there for me. She's my mentor for work, for personal, just everything. And I thought it would be really fun today because I think my mom is such a positive person and she's over 80. I know you probably don't want me to say that, Mom, but if I'm 62, we have to say that, right?
Good idea.
But I want to find out, and this is funny because I never asked you, what are your guiding principles for a successful life? And I came up with 5 areas, and I just want you to tell us all about it and be an inspiration to others like you are to me. This
I would love to try.
Thursday. Of course you will. Okay, so the 5 areas I want to cover are health,
Mhm.
mind, spirituality, relationships, and hobbies. Because I think you're so well-rounded in all these areas. And when anybody takes those personality tests or, how's your life test, those are kind of the areas that, you need to talk about and make sure that it's well-rounded. And to me, you're the most well-rounded person and mom that I know. So enough talking on my part. Can we start out with your health? Because your health is amazing.
Yes, I'm very fortunate. I think I must have some good genes, but I also try to eat healthy and remember that sweets are special. I love sweets, but I try to keep them as a special. And then I try to exercise. I do a lot of stretching, and then I do hydrofit classes 3 times a week. And I did buy some trekking sticks just recently because I was hoping to do a little bit more walking than I have. And then, of course, I believe in going to the doctor and the dentist regularly.
Uh-huh.
But I think those are probably the basic things to keep healthy. And the other thing is attitude. Having a positive attitude, I think, is as important as what you eat and the exercise that you do.
Well, and you also have a lovely routine that I think has helped a lot. You have what you call a canary in the morning when you first
Uh-huh.
wake up. Tell us about your canary routine.
Yes, I've been having hot lemon water first thing in the morning for quite a while. Ever since I gave up coffee, I have AFib, so can't have anything with caffeine. So I had to give up, or I could have coffee, but I took up lemon water, hot lemon water, and I just think that seems to be a wonderful routine. It's supposed to be really good to get everything going in the morning, and it seems
Well,
to be
from what
good.
I read, all the movie stars used to drink canaries in the morning. Liz Taylor and, Katharine Hepburn. So you're obviously onto something good, Mom. And I've tried to incorporate that in my life too. I don't think I'm as successful as you are because I sometimes grab my coffee first, but
And then I never am hungry in the morning. And so I'm kind of become a fan of this intermittent fasting thing to
Mhm.
keep the weight in check. So that seems to work for me. And I don't eat usually until about 10:30 in the morning, but then I eat very healthy things. I either have oatmeal or some kind of eggs or a smoothie. I eat lots of berry smoothies.
Well, I think it's a testament
Mhm.
to your routines and all those things you just told us because when you last visit to the doctor, she said you're in the best shape of any woman your age she's seen, and she wishes she could clone you.
Yeah, yeah.
But if she did, she wouldn't have a job. So anyway, I was so happy and proud that you take such good care of yourself, and I thank you for that, Mom.
I'm
It's important.
very fortunate.
So the next thing I want to talk about is your mind. You are one of the smartest people that I've ever known. And you keep your mind sharp. You used to be a school teacher, an English teacher, and you've had many careers. It's just been amazing. Tell us a little bit about all the things you've done and what you do now to keep your mind sharp.
Well, I used to work in radio a little bit. That was one of my majors in college. So I did have a TV show once, a little show, and did some broadcasting. And then, as Kay said, I did taught for a little while. Um, And then basically, I've always tried to keep up with the news, and I do read a lot. And then I do crossword puzzles, which I think helps. And then I've always just tried to be, as I said, active mentally. And I was a housewife for quite a few years, but then but then I did work outside the home, and now I still work, and I'm over 80, so I think that helps me keep sharp.
Well, and you were a financial advisor for EDS, and
Yeah.
right now you're the church treasurer.
Uh-huh.
And I've never seen anybody do an Excel spreadsheet like my mom. I mean, she's a whiz, and it's nice that I can count on you when I run into problems. But I think the fact that you have um, mastered the math and the financial part in your life was really important, because that was a little bit of a challenge for you, as it is for most women. We're kind of told that that's not what we should pursue, but you've overcome that, haven't you, Mom?
Yes, well, I certainly didn't for a long time. If somebody added something or subtracted something, my mind just went, I don't do that.
Yeah.
But when I was actually almost 50, I went back to school for another degree and decided that I had failed at enough things at that time. Let's try some business math, because I needed to do something in business because I wanted to work. And I discovered that I love business math, and then I liked accounting, and so that became my field. And it's really interesting to think that somebody who couldn't even, do two and two, or didn't think they could, ended up in the financial field. And
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, one of the other things that I love about you is that you are constantly learning, and you're always interested and curious and always reading. And I think that's key to staying sharp. So thank you for that, Mom. It helps me be a daughter. Let me tell you, it's a joy. So when people ask about the perfectly balanced life, there's always the spiritual part, the higher, the higher, the higher what?
Higher power.
Yeah, higher power. I was going to say higher purpose. That's an important aspect for everyone to incorporate into their life, and you do that so well. Tell us about your faith and your spirituality.
Well, I was brought up in the church, which helped some. And then, of course, when the children were little and when we moved around a lot, my husband was in the Air Force, so we moved a lot. So it's kind of hard to keep up sometimes with your church life at a time like that. But I certainly learned, when you have things that don't work out well, and we all have those times in our lives when things don't work as we want them to, I felt very sustained by my faith. In fact, I just don't know what I would do without it. And luckily, as I've gotten older now, I'm able to practice it more than I would like it to share with it. But it's certainly the support system that I don't know what I would do without.
Well, it's brought you through some tough times. I know
Yep.
that. And I think of your spirituality and your love of God as a really important pillar in your life.
It certainly is.
So I thank you for sharing that with us, Mom. I know it's important to you. And relationships are really, really important. You have me and my brother, but you also had 6 brothers and sisters. And I know family is really important. Tell us about relationships and how you view those in your life.
Well, of course, we all have relationships, and there are some that are good and some that are wonderful. And I like to really concentrate on positive relationships and make that more. We all have other things that we have to deal with as well, but positive people and people that are doing things that are interesting just make for wonderful relationships. And I've just met some wonderful people in my life, and just have some wonderful friends now, which are friends are always treasures, but especially when you get older and are widowed, it becomes even more important. And
well, that's right. You have a group that you get together with called the Wild Wacky Widows, right?
yes.
I love that. I love that. These gals have parties all the time, and just keep it fresh.
And we're there for each other and help each other, and it's very special. Yeah.
I know. So besides your work and your family and your spirituality, what brings you joy in your life? What hobbies do you have? What interests do you have that make Sydna Mercereau who she is?
Well, I love to garden, and that brings me a lot of joy, even though sometimes I don't, not everything grows well in my garden, in my house, but I have some failures, but I really enjoy working in the garden. That's one of
Yeah.
my hobbies. And I play duplicate bridge. That gives me a lot of joy. And also that's a great mind stretcher too, and
Yes.
great activity. And of course, my children give me great joy, and my friends.
Well, that's kind of you to say. I want to talk a little bit more about the gardening because at my mother's house, she has so many beautiful plants, and you always take such good care of them. And I did not inherit your green thumb, but I know you tried with me when I was little. When you have a story about when we lived in Labrador. Um,
Oh,
my dad was a colonel in the Air Force, and we moved all over the world. And when I was about 4, we lived in Labrador, which is like barren. It's like up in Canada.
mhm.
And you tried to give me my first lesson in gardening, didn't you?
Yes. Well, Kate came home from preschool one day and said, "Mommy, what is a worm?" Well, I was devastated that she didn't know. My daughter doesn't know what a worm is. And so my husband was sitting alert over in Nova Scotia, where the climate is a little bit more mild than it is in Labrador. So one time when he came back from alert, he brought me 2 huge boxes, big boxes of dirt with worms in them. And of course, an aside is that the rest of the women were getting furs at that time, but anyway, the worms were very special. And then we had a little garden, and Kay learned about worms and about how lettuce grew. And it was really very special.
Oh, well, thank you for trying to make me a gardener. There is still hope.
Yeah.
I'm still trying. So I like to think of like when I do my interviews, I like to think of 3 words that define a person. And, this is kind of hard because you're my mom and I can think of like 20 words that define you. But I want to tell everybody the ones that I came up with you, see if you agree, and then you can add. But I think you're one of the most balanced people that I know. And I think that's kind of evident because we just covered the different areas in your life. I mean, you seem to have everything covered. You seem very balanced. You don't fly off the handle. You just got a grip on it. And maybe that's something that's happened with age. In fact, I think it is, Mom, now that I think about it. You've gotten so much better. And more graceful with age, as I think many women do in their lives when they've
Mellowing.
mellowing. Yeah, it's like it's not that big of a deal anymore, right? If something goes wrong.
Yeah.
The other word I need to use with you is persistent. If you've got a problem or you're working on your Excel sheet and it's not balancing, you do not stop until you figure it out. You're also really ingenious. Like you had this garbage can that I can't stand that falls off the door. It's in the kitchen. And I was like, Mom, we have to get rid of this. And you're like, nope, I'm gonna figure it out. And you went to Home Depot and you got this special tape and you got these nails. And sure enough, made it work. So I think that's a really amazing attribute.
That's funny.
And then, there is a 4th one, and it's actually, this is the most important one. You have the biggest heart of anyone I know. You've always kind and respectful to people. You have helped me so much in my life through all my problems, all my challenges. When I first started Charity Charms, you were there for me, gung ho, inspired. You helped me design the logo. I'll pull the logo up right now because here's our little signature box. And then we made a charm out of the logo that anyone can have for their personal charm collection as well. So we call this Have a Heart. And to me, it just signifies my mom. So anyway, this has been so fun. I have one more question.
To give you the 3 significant things that I would say were my defining.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay. You
Oh,
tell
that's
me what
and I
defines you.
really thought about this because I thought, oh my goodness, there's
Oh,
so many things. I just feel, and I think this definitely has come with age. And so that's one of the good things of getting to be over 80 is that I feel content and blessed and fulfilled. And I certainly couldn't have said that 20 or 30 years ago. So those of you young ladies can look forward to something wonderful, not just more wrinkles and, and the spread that we all hate so much. So anyway, there are some good things that come with age.
well, and to age gracefully, self-care, keeping a sharp mind, having a spirituality and interests, hobbies, and fabulous relationships comes full circle and makes you the person that you are.
Mhm.
So I would say you've achieved the ultimate goal in life, which is happiness,
Yes,
happiness,
yes.
balance, and
Being content and
yeah,
fulfilled is really, I think, everyone's goal.
yeah, yeah. Well, this is when you and I first talked about doing an interview together. We're like, this is going to be kind of weird, mother daughter. We've never really done anything like this, but we are best friends,
Yeah.
confidants, and I am so blessed to have you as my mom.
So,
And I wanted to share this today because my grandmother also was such a incredible force in both of our lives. We're lucky to have, I have six girl cousins, and we're going to get together with my mom and her sister, and we're going to write a book about our grandma Eleanor, called The E Factor. And but we're just all women supporting each other, whether we have children or we're a doggy mommy or a cat mommy. I just think women are such an important part of everybody's life. Mothers make the difference. And so I hope this Mother's Day that you reach out and cherish your mom and do something special to let her know you love her as well. And I've got a surprise planned for you, but can't I can't say it or it wouldn't be a surprise. Love you, Mom.
I love you too, sweetheart.
Happy
Thank you
Mother's
so
Day.
much. I enjoyed it.